It seems to be something that's particularly going on in DC that is coming off weird. There's a lot of homes that are being put up for sale. There are a lot of searches on the internet that are particularly odd. And it seems as though that it may have to do with some politicians. Now, there was some research done, and the top searches as it pertains to Google within the DC area were searches about lawyer, Cayman Island, offshore accounts, and Swiss offshore accounts. And it's leaving people to think like, what do you know that you're not telling us? Are we going to war? What the deal is? Now, as it pertains to the searches that I just named that people are Googling in DC, it makes you think that somebody stole some money. It makes you think that they want to lawyer up to try to get themselves out of trouble and evade charges. And it just seems as though that someone has uncovered some shady business that has been going down in DC. So I want you guys to peep out these clips and I'll be back.
So by now you've heard that people are selling their homes in the Washington, D.C. area by droves. Some people are listing their homes at a loss of even up to $200,000. There are many people who have theories, and to those theories, I'm going to add to it. But first, the first theory is, and the main theory is because people are losing their jobs. Okay, sounds plausible, sounds reasonable. The second theory is that Doge is somehow uncovering all of this fraud and they're afraid, and that's why they're selling their homes, because they're not going to be able to get those kickbacks anymore. I don't necessarily believe this reason, only because Doge just seems to be incompetent. Okay? Here's my theory. My theory is based upon history. During the American Revolution, the Capitol, as well as other government buildings, were desecrated. It was actually burned. Okay? Because the Capitol has symbolism to America. Okay? It's kind of like take the flag kind of thing. During the Civil War, the Capitol was still under reconstruction, okay, because of the American Revolution. But they had learned to protect the Capitol. So it was not destroyed. It was still under construction, although it did pause. They actually had military there surrounding the Capitol, and that was used for barracks as well as bakeries and for hospitals for our military, okay? So that's the only reason why the Capitol was untouched during the Civil War. But on a more local level, for instance, I'm in Georgia, the Capitol was actually destroyed. If you know anything about history or Georgia history, the Shermans marched all the way to Savannah, which at one time was the capital of Georgia, and the ground and left the path of destruction on its way. We eventually rebuilt the Capitol in Atlanta, and that's where it remains today. So my theory is that people are also leaving because of safety reasons. Because in effect, when we do go to war, the Capitol will be the main target. Let me know if you think my reasoning is plausible.
Why are all these homes in DC suddenly for sale? It's like all these homes just went up for sale overnight. Why is everyone selling their home? It says here that everyone in DC is Googling criminal defense lawyer. Why are they doing that? According to Google, in Washington, D.C., the search for lawyer has shot up over 400%. Is this like parking tickets or something? Or wait a minute, it says right here that some of the top searches have been wipe hard drive, offshore bank. Is that like they have to like shut down a lemonade stand or something, or what's going on? Someone significantly smarter than me is going to have to come in here and explain. I can't put these things together, but I know there's someone out there that can help me piece this puzzle together and solve this like Scooby-Doo.
Spicy curry says, and I do love me some spicy curry, by the way. Not from DC. Explain. I don't understand why people would be selling. Let me explain to you. Most of the politicians from the House, Congress, the Senate, most politicians live in DC. Okay? And if you go to DC, DC is just one small circle. I know they make it look humongous on television. Like if I had never been in DC before, I would think that it was this huge town. It's really not. It's like going around a roundabout. That's how small DC is. So for most of the real estate to be going up for sale in this capacity, this much, something's going on. What are these people, what are these politicians trying to run away from? because they were the ones who came in, wanted to change up how the city was, get rid of certain classic places that we used to go to, and the politicians made DC into what they wanted it to be and not what the people needed. And now they're trying to run. And I think they're trying to run because they're scared of what might happen, because now the truth is coming out and not everybody can handle the truth. So yes.
All right, so you guys just saw and heard all of that. Now, I have to be fair and bring up this point because this could be a contributing factor to the amount of houses that are being put up for sale in the DC area. And they're saying that it's the lack of U.S. aid. And basically, what's being put out there is the fact that Doge, Elon, and Trump have uncovered the misappropriation of funds on the Democrat side. And basically, with them not having access to the U.S. aid, it's nearly impossible for some of them to be able to continue to fund their lavish lifestyles. Now, I'm going to say this because in my estimation, there are crooked politicians on both sides. So there is no way in the hell you can tell me that the Democrats are the only party that's involved in the misuse and misappropriation of funds. I think both parties are responsible collectively. But hey, listen, this is something that we should just keep an eye on. I'm not going to go to space with it yet, but I do feel like there's something more to the story. But anyway, let's move along, and I want to talk about the fact that Jay-Z has moved to sue Tony Busby. So we know that this particular lawsuit was dropped against Jay-Z and Diddy, and I say particular because Diddy is still facing some lawsuits and things like that, where Jane Doe, who claims that she was 1-3 at the time, was essayed and R'd by Jay-Z and Diddy in 2000 after the VMAs. And of course, that fictitious event that was all made up supposedly took place in New York. Now, Jay-Z is deciding to play hardball. He's meeting Tony Busby with that same energy that Tony tried to meet him with when he first filed this frivolous lawsuit. And so he's saying that he's going to sue Tony Busby. And I think he should. Now, this does not sound like a man in Jay-Z that paid anybody under the table for them to drop this lawsuit, because Jay-Z could just move on with his life. Just go ahead, just try to just pick up the pieces, because this is going to always be a stain on his legacy, because a lot of people are going to still feel that he did it, right? But no, he's deciding to go after Tony Busby. I want you guys to check out a few clips and I'll be back.
Jay-Z sues Tony Busby, reportedly felt there was a pew-pew to his head after the fake allegations. Claims he lost $20 million in contract. He put me in a position to choose to support my daughter or hide to avoid negative press. This calculated, stupid put out this dumb, ridiculous lawsuit against this man with no proof, no evidence. He didn't even research it. On the night before this man's daughter movie premiere. That is diabolical. That is evil. You can't tell me that was a master calculation and manipulation, because he refused to sit down with you and do a I can't think of the word they call mitigation. That's to ask for money. That man said, I don't know her, and I ain't never I can't say that. I ain't never nobody. I don't even need to know who she is. After his stupid self decided to drop the case, do you not know that Jay-Z has always said from the beginning, these people don't even do statements, but he came out with a statement and said, this ain't me. I didn't believe it because, for one, I'm from the hood, and in the hood, those kind of people, especially that's not it in the hood. You got to be from the hood to understand what that means. They don't survive in the hood. But then, besides that, he don't give that energy. He don't give that energy at all. The problem with these people, the reason why so many people want to see this man fail, first and foremost, let's get back to that. After he dropped the suit, because he volunteered, he dropped the suit, because you can't get no evidence, because you didn't do your research. Do you not know people still say he paid, even though the first thing came out of his mouth was, I ain't paying nothing? Jay-Z check cleared. One thing about Jay-Z and Roc Nation, they're going to find a way to make the buy off a case. How he paid it off? The case was dismissed with prejudice. With prejudice. that means it can never be filed again. Nobody can ever say it. But you know what? People don't want to hear that. Because these people have chosen to live their lives in private and not give you access to every minute of their life, anything somebody say about them, y'all want to believe it. An anonymous person. This is how dangerous of a time we live in. Somebody, anybody, an anonymous person can say, hey, this happened, and the internet believes it. They don't have no proof. There was never any proof. There was never any witnesses. There was never, even her daddy said no. But people wanted to believe it anyway. First thing they're going to say is, why he ain't sue her? He can't sue her. She's autistic, which is another problem with her story, because who don't know why they autistic child at for hours and hours and hours on hand? But we're not going to get into that. He can't sue her, because if he sue her, people will say, oh, he's suing her, especially somebody with special needs. Well, for one, he don't even know who she is, because the judge says she can remain anonymous. Even though the Constitution said you have the right to face your accuser. He didn't get that right. Do y'all not understand, Emmett Till? Because somebody said it. Do you not know if we were living in different times, this man would have been gone. His family wouldn't even, they probably would have got rid of, this is crazy. I hope with my whole heart that he sue your whole face off. I hope he changed Busby and Associates to the Carters. I hope $20 million is like $20 to Jay. He's a billionaire 2 times over. His wife is almost at the billionaire status by herself. Their daughter is worth so many hundred thousands of dollars. $20 is like $20 million is like $20. I hope he sue that red tie right off your chest.
Listen, I was going to play you a couple of more clips, but she just owned it. She just owned it. It's no need for me to play you anything else. She said everything in that one clip that made absolute sense, okay? I appreciate this queen right here, and quite frankly, she reminds me of the strong black women that I grew up around. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I'm going to draw the line here. I want you guys to feel free to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about this video. Have a fantastic day. Peace.